the beliefs and methods used in the Chinese, Japanese, South American, and other mysteries, because while the legends which are inculcated may vary in some way, they are all essentially and basically the same. The training hardly varies at all. The real mystery of the mysteries, folks, is how and when man first discovered the use of certain procedures to condition other men and thus rule them and control them, and whether the discovery was instantaneous or gradual, or simultaneous or at different times and places. But one cannot date doctrines as one can archaeological finds by radioactive carbon dating. And so you've reached another milestone in your education into the mysteries, and this program is only half completed. And again, I must remind you that we have just begun, for we are essentially covering 6,000 years of the history of a hidden religion known simply as the mysteries. To Christians it is Mystery Babylon. To others it is called the Invisible College. In all cases, it belongs to those who consider themselves in possession of the only truly mature minds, and thus the only ones capable of knowing certain advancements in technology, sociology, and many, many other things. They call themselves the guardians of the secrets of the ages. And I can assure you, folks, they are in complete control of all elements of our society, military, and government at this time. So it is essential that you learn these facts about them and their organization so that we can decide our future. Don't go away, folks. We've got to take a short break. I'll be right back right after this pause. The cult of Mithra, the intercessor between man and the Persian divine power Ormuzd, was once an extremely widespread one, for it is the original cult of the sun. From its origins in Persia, the faith spread to Babylonia, Greece, and finally the Roman Empire, where it struggled against Christianity at the latter's inception. Christianity believes that it won with the decline of the material virtues of the Romans, but there are people who worship the solar deity today, and even London has its Mithra temple. Mithra was said to give his worshippers success in this world as well as security and happiness in the next. Sound familiar, Freemasons? He was originally a genie, the worldly representative of the invisible power which ruled the affairs of men. Later, and the cult probably has a history of over 6,000 years, he became thought of by his devotees as being not just one of the 28 genii, but the only one which mattered, and the only one who could cater for the wishes and needs of the people. Thus it was that the ancient Aryan worship of Ahura Mazda, the Supreme Being, was displaced by that of one of his representatives. Now, one way, folks, you can tell who or which corporations or businesses or societies belong to these cults is to look at these names, such as Saturn, Mazda, etc. Ahura Mazda, the Supreme Being, was displaced by that of one of his representatives, although archaeological research has produced little to give a clear picture of the rituals and beliefs of the Mithraists. A considerable amount of secret lore still survives in the East, from India to Syria, which gives one a good idea of exactly how the members of the cult thought and just exactly what their magical ceremonies were. 3 ritualistic objects are used by Mithraists: the crown, equivalent to the sun and power of the supernatural kind; the hammer or club, symbolizing creative activity of mankind; and the bull, which stands for nature, virility, increase. By the proper understanding of these objects and just exactly what they represent, Mithraists have it that the ordinary man can transcend his environment, can become great or successful, or can achieve what he wants to do and enters a delightful afterlife. What must he give in exchange? Nothing but worship to the principle which presides over all destiny and control to the priests of the religion. Now let's regress just a moment and let me explain to you why the bull. Throughout the ancient world, you see the symbology of the bull. Now, you have to remember this history goes back 6,000 years, the first 2,000 of which, looking back, is the Christian era. Now, remember, this is the age of Pisces, or the 2 fish. The 6,000-year period started in antiquity when the sun was in Taurus, or the bull. That is the meaning of Baal, or Baal. The golden calf was the representation of the house of the sun, or the age of the bull, or Taurus. It was really the same old mystery religion, the worship of the unseen God of the universe, represented by the sun, which over the centuries and the millennia has become the worship of the intellect, with the sun the representation of the light, or Lucifer, the one who gave man the gift of intellect. Now, after the age of Taurus came the goat, or the ram, and this was symbolized by the symbol of the goat, or the goat of Mendes. For in Mendes there was a temple erected to the worship of the mysteries, and since the sun was in the house of the goat or the ram, the object of the exoteric worship by the masses was the goat. When the sun passed into the house of Pisces, or the 2 fishes, the Christian era began. We are now on our way out of the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. Once you understand that the ancient religion was a religion of the worship of the heavens, then everything begins to come together. And when you understand that they ceased believing in an all-powerful, unseen God, or hidden God of the universe, and became essentially pantheists, believing that everything is God, they call this nature.